Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagrana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सागणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय ते नमः. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नाम दास ठाकुर की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण माता जी.
हरे कृष्णा. हरे कृष्णा
माता जी. धन्यवाद.
हरे कृष्णा. धन्यवाद प्रणाम. हरे कृष्णा. We'll continue with chapter 15. Okay. So yesterday we covered, what is that? So the two sections, right? So the we understood, I mean, this chapter actually, Krishna starts with explaining about the material world. So how this materialist world is being, I mean, how to understand this world? This material world is compared to what? What tree is it?
banyan tree, inverted.
Yeah, inverted, the perverted banyan tree. So that shows that there is something beyond this material world. That is why Krishna starts with saying that to understand this material world and how one can cut this connection with this material tree with the acts of detachment. He says that one has to. Why? Because I mean, we detailedly we saw how the because this tree is growing. I mean, it is having this so many branches which is compared to different planets, and it is because of the three modes of material nature, no? Just like how we water the tree, the because of the three modes of I mean so many varieties in the three modes, a mixture, some percentage difference, and that is why the so many species have been developed. And that is the reason why, I mean, and the fruitive activities, a person engaging in fruitive activities, making him to again come back to this material world. So Krishna says that you have to raise above. So what is the process? In the Shloka 5, the Lord explains that one has to surrender. So one has to learn how to surrender. So for that, we need to develop the qualities. Qualities of what? So to become freed from the false ego, pride, right? False association. And then one has to look for the place where when we will not return. Krishna says that. And then he starts explaining in the 6th verse he gives introduction about the spiritual world. How does it look? Like, so na tad bhasayate suryah na shashanko na pavakah yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So Krishna starts explaining that there is another abode, like spiritual abode, where there is no required of a sun or moon for elimination. It is self-eliminated. So he gives the introduction to that, and then Krishna says that why should we go, right? Why should we go? We may think like, okay, I'm happy here in the material world. Why am I go? But then Krishna says, no, you are struggling actually. No, Mamaivamsha jiva loka sanatana manashashtani indriyani prakrutistani kashrati. So actually we are struggling, and the Lord knows that it is the struggling is there. And same thing in chapter 2, he says, Matra spashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada. And even in chapter 8, he says, this is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So this material world is compared to the place of misery, and which is temporary. So obviously we cannot be happy here. That is the reason Krishna first explains about the material world, and he says that there is something beyond. So we have to try to, elevate ourselves to the higher, that is to Krishna's abode. And then, so what was the next shloka? The 8th. Yeah. So after that, Krishna explains about the transmigration of species, right? So how one develops a particular kind of body based on his desires, and how the mind is the responsible for us to take into a next life. No? That we saw yesterday, like how Krishna gives the example, like how the air carrying aroma. Similarly, the mind is taking all the whatever we have accumulated all our life. That is why it depends so it is so important how we train our mind, training the mind. Mind is always subservient to the soul, to intelligence. We see that the hierarchy in the chapter 3. So Krishna says there that the body is a dead matter. Higher to that is the senses. Higher to senses is mind. Higher to mind is the intelligence, and intelligence higher to intelligence is the soul. So if we have to control our mind and we have to keep our conscious clean, then what should we do? What should we do? Can you all say some points? What should we do? Yes, you can tell some one point. Whatever. Yes.
Chanting.
Yeah. So what will happen by chanting?
So we'll be focused on the Lord.
Yeah, because Krishna is Rishikesha. He's a controller of all senses and master of senses. So when we are concentrating our mind on Lord, so automatically our senses also will come under control. And not just chanting, also having prasad, right? So having the uchista of prasad of Lord. So if we have of others, then we will get the consciousness of others. So, but then if we have of the same thing of Lord, then we will get his consciousness. In the sense, we get purified by having that, right? So that is why it is very important to focus on whatever we do, because the mind is only, we cannot blame the mind. Mind is only taking whatever we are feeding it, good in, good out, correct? So there we see that how mind plays a very important role for a living entity to take another body. And then so I think yeah, and then Krishna says that a foolish person will never be able to understand this, but then a person with the knowledge will be able to discriminate that I'm not this soul, body, but I'm a soul. So we saw that, and so now we'll continue with the section D, 15.16 to 20. The 3 shloka Bhagavad Gita summarizing the Vedas and the Vedanta kinds of living entities. So we'll see a different kind of living entities which are there in material world and spiritual world. Okay. All glories to Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Dvau vimau purushau loke ksharascha. Dvau vimau purushau loke ksharascha eva cha ksharas sarvani bhutani kutasto kshara uchyate.
There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is called infallible. Yeah, Mataji.
One second.
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to do the previous one. Sorry.
15.15.
We didn't do the 12 now. I directly went to the D. I think we didn't do from C and D we're supposed to do, right? Yeah.
Last one, what we did is 11th one, Mataji.
Yeah, correct. So I have directly gone to, sorry. Yeah, we are supposed to start from section C. Why is it going there only?
Krishna's position as the maintainer.
Yeah. Okay, now it is fine, no? Yeah. So we have to start from here, section C. So Krishna's position as maintainer. So how the Lord is maintaining on each level, we can see here, right? Like yad adityagatam tejaha jagad bhasayate kilam yachandramasi yachagnau tattejo vidhi mamakam.
The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Krishna is saying how on a cosmic level, I mean, in the sense Krishna, how is he maintaining entire universe? So he has arranged everything for us, but then he says the splendor of moon. So whatever the sun is getting, the light, the sun emanates the rays, which is coming, the brightness is coming from the Lord himself. And same thing is established in Brahma Samhita also. It says, Yakshuresha Savitas Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Tejaha Yasyagnaya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So there it says that the sun, which is said to be the king of all planets, and which is, but from where does he get the light and heat? He is getting from the Lord, that is Lord Krishna. Govinda, so such Lord, I'm paying obeisances. So this is a prayer from Brahma Samhita, where Lord Brahma says this prayer, right? So here the same thing Krishna is saying, that the sun, so whatever the light which is emanating from the sun, and even from the moon, the moon, whatever, and in the chapter 10 also Krishna says this, whatever you see, the beautiful things or the wonderful things, whatever is there, it is all my energy only. No, yadyad vibhutis tat sattvam. He says that whatever vibhutis or you see, so whatever we see something great, we should consider that it is coming from Krishna only. And fire is also representation of Krishna, so which is also coming from the Lord. So what and also when we know that when there is, so Krishna Surya Sama Mayaka na Adhikar. Jaha Krishna Vaha Mayaka na Adhikar. So that means wherever the Lord is there, so there is no room for ignorance. So because he is just compared to like sunlight, he's so when there is a light, there cannot be darkness. No? Similarly, when there is knowledge of Krishna, so then there is no ignorance. So here we can see in the picture Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sitting with many Mayavadi sannyasis. Actually, the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya incident, we know, right? So he converted so many. I mean, at one. I mean, after he Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becomes his devotee, all disciples, because he had thousands of disciples at once. All those, I think, around 10,000 Mayavadi sannyasis. Everybody took shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because the ignorance was gone, because after hearing from him the Vedanta Sutra in a proper way, they were convinced that Krishna has a Nama Rupa Guna and Namni, like Krishna has a name, has a form, has a quality. It's not that after death or one becomes, after liberated, one merge into Lord, right? So that was removed, right? So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि औषधी सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः.
I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So how is this, each planet is sustaining and they are staying in the orbit? It is because of energy of the Lord. Otherwise, it cannot stay in the place. So Prabhupada gives two examples, two analogies here. One is that when we are holding the dust in our hand, right, it will not scatter. It is in there. But if you leave it, everything is scattered. So similarly, if Krishna leaves, I mean, if Krishna's energy is not there, everything after some time, it will, they all may crash, or we don't know, it can come to end. No, world can come to end. But everything is staying in place because only because of the Lord's energy, it is staying. And the other example Prabhupada gives is that when a person drowns, right, when he in the water, so drowns in the sense when the soul leaves the body. So when somebody is in water and the soul leaves, what happens? Immediately the body drowns. When the living force is gone of the body sinks. Similar, but then Prabhupada also says that even like after, I mean, dead body floats, but it will take after some time. But then immediately when life force is gone, it will go inside. So similarly, Krishna is holding everything. So even in chapter 7, we see Krishna says that Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam proktam sutre manigana iva. So there is nothing highest than me, Arjuna, and I am holding everything, like just like a pearls, how they are held by a thread inside, though it is not visible. So similarly, though it may look like nobody is there, no creator, no, that is what the artistic people, they think there's no creator, but then everything is by Krishna's energy, it is staying place. And Krishna also says here that I become the moon, so and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. So whatever we get the taste in the vegetable, the juice is supplied by the moon. So this, even still now, this is not uh, discovered, or the science is not able to find out that how is the moon giving the juice to all vegetables. So Krishna says, this is me. I am, because of me, uh, it is, we are getting the taste in the vegetables. And not only that, Krishna also he also enters into each atom, right? He is there in each atom. This is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita, where it said, Andantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam. So Krishna is there in each planet, in each atom, and he also enters as a Paramatma in every living entity. And in the universe, cosmos, he enters as an energy. Na? And then he is maintaining everything in place. So this is called as Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. So Prabhupada gives this example to understand, just like we cannot the sun rays, if you say the sun rays is not different from sun, it belongs to sun, but it is not same. So Achintya Beda Abeda means simultaneously same and different. So the Bhagwan actually includes Paramatma and Brahman. So Brahman, we cannot say that it is something different than the Lord. Actually, it belongs to the him. So similarly, sun globe, and the sun planet. So there is a sun, and sun which is the sun rays, right? Sun rays is coming from the sun globe, and then there is in the inside the sun there is a deity who is Vivaswan, that is a sun god, no? And who is the son of sun god? Vivaswan. Chapter, remember, recall from chapter 4. Son of Vivaswan. Who is that?
Manu.
Yes, Manu. Manu, Vivaswata Manu. No, he is the current Manu, and he there. So it is all there, but this is called as uh, simultaneously same and different. So though we are same in quality, so Prabhupada says that, okay, we are also having, I mean, Krishna has this creative potency. We also have, the humans also have, but then not, we cannot create something like that. We create small things, no? Even everybody, even the every small living entity, including the animals, and they also do whatever is possible for them based on their intelligence. So, but then nobody can compete with Krishna. So that is the difference between us and the Lord. So qualitatively we are same. We do have that, but then quantitatively very small. We have very less potency compared to Lord. And so now Krishna will explain how he is maintaining our body also on body level. Aham Vaishvanaro bhutva praninam dehamashritah pranapana samayuktah pachamyannam chaturvidham.
I am the fire of digestion in every living body, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the four kinds of foodstuff. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in Ayurveda, this is said as Jataragni. So Jataragni, if the Jataragni is not good, then there is no proper digestion. So Krishna says that is representation of Lord. So Krishna is there as Jataragni, and without, just imagine, we can't even digest our food without Lord. And he is supplying the air also, the air which is outgoing and incoming. Everything is supplied by the Lord. So whatever we are living also is because of mercy of the Lord. And what are the four kind of foodstuff he's able to is? What are the four kind of foodstuff? What are the four kind of foodstuff that we eat? Yes. Here it is mentioned four type of food stuff, na? What are those foodstuffs? Foodstuffs. Try. It's okay if you go wrong. There's not any exam or anything. Please participate. Yes. Yes, Santosh Prabhu.
It's like carbohydrate, protein, fat, and vitamins, like that.
No, not actually here, Krishna, no, not like that. The kind of thing like when you chew the chewing, no? Some foods you can chew. No? You are going very technical, very simple. So something we can chew, something is to be drunk. I mean, we drink, na? Some food item we drink, and then some are like sucked, and then some are like licked. No, with the pickle. So that is we lick. So like that, juices we so the four types are some are we drink and sucked, licked, and then chewed. So these are the 4 kind of food which Krishna is talking about. So he is the one who is helping to digest all this kind of food in our body. Yes, Prabhu. सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमापोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वैद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्.
I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, sorry, by all the Vedas, am I to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So many. Yes, Prabhu, you're saying something.
Important shloka, I believe.
Yes, very important shloka, because this shows, I mean, in a way, it actually shows like how we are so much dependent on Lord for everything, and Krishna is the actually Sarva Karana Karana. No, whatever to the minute thing, I mean, we are so dependent. And here Krishna says, I mean, it establishes so many things actually. It says that I am seated in everyone's heart. So Krishna is there in as Paramatma in our heart. It is not that he is somewhere else only in spiritual world, but Krishna says, I am there also as a Paramatma in the heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. And then how we are dependent on Krishna. So whatever remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, it is coming from the Lord. So what we don't remember anything our past lives, no. Even in the chapter 5, Krishna says that all these kings, I mean, they are not there earlier. I mean, they were there earlier. They're going to be in future also. They'll born, right? You and me. I mean, I remember everything, but you don't remember anything. So right. So that shows that because the living entity is conditioned, so he forgets, because we get different bodies, and we once we leave this body and we take another, we forget that I was something in the past life. But then some remembrance to few people Krishna has given, like Bharat Maharaj. He remembered, he was given the previous remembrance that he was a devotee. Like when he becomes a deer also, he knew that he was a devotee. That is because Krishna says in chapter 2 that Swalpam apyasya dharmasya, no, because whatever little we have done in devotional service will not go waste. So maybe Krishna, he was a pure devotee in the sense he had gone to the bhava level. In the 9 process of bhakti, he was in the stage of bhava. So Krishna wanted to again bring him back. So that is why he gave that necessary intelligence to him, the remembrance to him, basically. So he remembered, and then in next 2 lives, he went back to Godhead. So next life was Jadabharata, after the deer. So who is giving this all remembrance is the Lord. So we see here the devotees cooking. So even when we cook at home, sometimes we remember to put proper salt, or right, whatever the masalas required properly, it will be in proportion. Or sometimes we forget. Many times I forget also, so to put proper salt. Right, it happens. It is because of Lord. So sometimes the Lord gives the remembrance, and sometimes it is all coming from the forgetfulness also is coming from the Lord. So Prabhupada says in the purport that Krishna only gives us the remembrance, like to start the activities from where we left in the previous life, right? So the same from there it starts. So who is giving that intelligence? Because of our karmas, I mean, we know, right? Everybody are different, and when we are born, and we see also the children is coming with different consciousness, level of consciousness. So all these are developed in the previous life, and just like how the mind is carrying, and then the all those gunas, and Krishna is also giving the remembrance so that we can continue our journey from where it stopped. Otherwise, what is there? If everybody forgot and starts with a new life, then I mean, there is no there won't be any 3 gunas only, right? So no. So Krishna doesn't interfere in those things. So whatever the karma we have done in the previous past, we have to take that in this janma, right? So he is giving us that something called prarabdha. So there is something called sanchit karma, which is getting accumulated. Many in different lives we have done different karma, and so many is there. But Krishna at once he will not give us everything in this life. So some percentage is given in each life, no? So that is called as prarabdha. We are born with certain karma, which is fixed for us this life. But then in this life, whatever we do, that is in our hand. That is why God has given the free will to us. So he has given the knowledge, and he has, if we turn towards Krishna, then Krishna is there to help us, right? So, and yeah, and then Krishna says that by all the Vedas, I am to be known. So why do somebody learn the Veda? So it is to understand the Lord. So Vyasadeva has given the Vedanta Sutra. No, Vyasadeva has given, and Vedanta Sutra Athato Brahma Jignasa, he says. So what does it mean? So now uh, uh, learn to know the truth. So now that means the absolute truth is Krishna. So Krishna is called as the absolute truth, and the Vedanta Sutra speaks about that. And also there is one more shloka which says Janmadi Yasya Yataha. So everything is coming from Supreme Lord, that is Lord Shri Krishna. Janmadyasya yatonvayadi taratash artheshvabhignasvarat tene brahmarudaya adi kavaye muhyanti yat surayah tejo vari mrudam yatha vinimayo yatra trisvargo mrusha namna svena virasta kuhakam something satyam param dhimahi. One line I missed. So actually it speaks that, it says that shloka, the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think. Yeah, so where Prabhupada has given such a big purport, so in deep. So it speaks about that Krishna is the basis of everything. And even he has given the intelligence to the how Lord Brahma created this universe. That intelligence was given by the Lord himself. He gave the intelligence. He meditated thousand of years in the I mean in the Devata's calculation, right? 1,000 years he meditated upon Lord, and then Krishna appeared, and he gave the intelligence to create. That is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, right? From Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu only Lord Brahma was born. So that intelligence is given by the Lord, and from Vedas, and Krishna says that I am to be known. So this Vedanta Sutra is given by Vyasadeva, and Krishna says that I am the compiler of Vedanta. So there are 4 Vedas. So all is created by the Lord himself, right? So yeah, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvana Veda. So I am the knower of Vedas. So Krishna, so the what is the why has the Lord given the Vedas? Because so that we study and gradually elevate. Because though the Veda deals with different sections, but finally it will take us to that, to understand the Lord, how to realize the Bhagavan feature of the Lord. So that is the essence of all Vedas. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Vedas has three divisions. One is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means to see that what is the relationship between me and the Lord. That is establishing relationship. Krishna says, no, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke, you are all my fragmental part and parcel. So that is when we know that, then what happens? Then the process, Sambandha, Abhideya. So we start process, okay, how do I connect now? So I know that Krishna is my supreme, father. Then how do I establish that connection? So through devotional service. So we do the devotional service, Abhideya. And then what is the Prayojana? Why? So if I'm doing something, so there should be some benefit, no? So what is the benefit? That I can go back to the spiritual abode. So these things, that is the main essence of the Vedas. So Krishna as maintainer of the material world, he says all the splendor that comes from sun, moon, fire, electricity, it comes from me. What is the benefit of such a conception of life as given in verse? What is the benefit of such conception? We know, understand that everything, I mean, Krishna is the ultimate cause. Sarva Karana Karana. No? And so Krishna, as the maintainer of material world, the Lord holds the, what is this? It's not having the, holds the, I think it is the orbits, planets in place, and then which the gives vegetables, sorry, the juice in the vegetables, and then which is coming, that which is also coming from Lord. So Krishna is the maintainer even in our body. So this is Jataragni, we can see, which is helping us to digest the food, which is also coming from the Lord. And the life air. Yeah, here it is. So chewed, licked, sucked, and swallowed. So Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishto. So we can see Krishna is there, a super soul in every living entity, not just human beings, but all the 84 lakh species. Krishna is present. So that is why he comes life after life with us. No, even when he is there, whatever life we take, Krishna is so merciful. He comes in each life with us. That is why he is eternal partner. Now everybody leaves us, but then Krishna is always there. So remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness is coming from Krishna. Vedeshya sarverahameva vetyo Vedanta Krit. Because Vyasadev is also said to be the Satyavesha avatar of Lord. So he is also incarnation of Lord. So that is why he says that I have done the Veda, because Vedas were bifurcated and given by Vyasadev. So the section D, verses 16 to 20. Dvavimau purushau loke ksharaschaksara eva cha sharash sarvani bhutani kutastokshara uchyate.
There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is infallible.
Yeah. So, so there are two kinds of people, here being discussed. So one, living entities who are in the material world, who are called as fallible. Why fallible? Because the body go through 6 changes. No? So the baby is in the, it takes the birth in the womb of a mother, and then it stays. It stays for some time, and then it gives some effect. No, it grows, it gives effect, and then uh, it becomes old and then die. No, dwindle, and it dies after some time. So these changes are not there in the spiritual body. That is the liberated souls who are there in the spiritual world. So they are called as infallible. So they never fall down. We fall down, but then the infallible means the spiritual entities, they don't fall down like us. And they don't forget like us. We forget the devotional service to the Lord, and we want to lord it over this material world. And Krishna says, no, in this chapter, that is the reason we are here in this material world. But they never do that. So they are always, Prabhupada says they are like, what is that? Obedient children of the Lord, and we are like disobedient children. We didn't obey Lord, and they are like very obedient. So these are the two kind of people which is spoken here. And one that we are actually, though we are part and parcel, because we have come into this material world. We have become conditioned and we are suffering here because of the threefold miseries and the primary miseries, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. This is not there for them who are infallible. So here in next shloka, actually from the 16th shloka itself, the Lord is actually explaining about the essence of Vedanta. So he establishes that how his position is supreme. So from the shloka 16 to 18, we see that. Uttama purushastvanyah paramatmeti udavritah yo lokatrayam avishya vibhartya vyaya ishvarah.
Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Lord Himself, who has entered into these worlds and is maintaining them. Hare Krishna
Yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this also refutes the understanding of Mayavadis who say that I am also God, you are also God, no, becoming one with God. So here it's clearly said, besides these two. That means there is different, they are all different entities. So one is fallible, who are there in material world, who is infallible in material, that is, they are liberated souls in spiritual world. But apart from them, the Lord is different. He says that he's talking about the super soul here. There is a great living personality, the Lord himself, who has entered this world and is maintaining them. Huh? The Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. So who is the super soul? So and who actually enters in the three world and is maintaining them. So it is said that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. This is from Katha Upanishad, and this quote Prabhupada mentions in many places because very important quote. Chetano Chetananam Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Vapi Bahunam Vidadati Kaman. So he's though we are all like the soul is also eternal and like Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaitanya, and it is also consciousness, both are consciousness. But then what is the difference? He alone is maintaining everyone, no? So that is the difference. That is what it is said here, who has entered this and is maintaining. So he is even maintaining the elephant also, like it needs tons of, right, the food per day, but who is giving it the food? So the Lord is arranging for everyone, from the smallest insect to the Lord Indra, everyone. So Krishna is maintaining. Yasmaksharamatiitoham aksharaadapi chottamah atosmi loke vede cha pratitah purushottamah.
Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person.
Yeah.
Hare
So
Krishna.
that is why we see everywhere, even if you see Bhagavatam or any play, wherever Vyasadeva says that when Krishna is speaking, it is not said Krishna Uvacha. It says Bhagavan Uvacha. No? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, it says. Wherever, even in Bhagavad Gita also we see. Because Bhagavan, he is the supreme person, the Bhagavan, and he is celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas. Everywhere he's been accepted. His supreme position is not questioned. And the Devatas are very much aware of it, but we are not aware of it. So he's transcendental to both. He's above that. So he is not either the fallible or infallible entity. He's above them. So even in the Ishopanishad says that I'll read the translation. Although fixed in his abode, the supreme personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind. No, Krishna is there in the Goloka, but then he is any time when a devotee calls, he is immediately present there. He appears. So how is that possible? It's something it's inconceivable potency of the Lord, and can overcome all others running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him. Although in one place he controls those who supply air and rain, he surpasses all in excellence. So nobody, I mean, many times we see this even in this picture where Lord Brahma got bewildered. I mean, Brahma is such a great living entity, and he is a secondary creator. he is very intelligent. But then even Lord Brahma also got bewildered. Lord Indra got bewildered. So everyone get bewildered. They cannot completely understand the Lord. So it is only they also beg for the Lord's mercy, that though by His mercy only one can understand. The devotees can understand the Lord only by mercy of the Lord. So otherwise they cannot. So only for certain seconds they get bewildered, but that could be that is also a pastime of the Lord, because they are also devotees, and they realize their mistake. It was just a 1 minute that Brahma in a moment he comes back, but we know that the time is like that. I mean, in when he comes back, it was almost a year. So you know this pastime, right? Where Lord Brahma had taken all the cowherd, the boys and their cows and everything. So because okay, let me tell this from first. So Lord Brahma once gets doubt that by seeing so many pastimes of the Lord in the Vrindavan, and he is killing a little boy, killing so many demons, and he thinks, let me see the pastimes, right? When he comes, he was seeing that he was playing with the cowherd boys, enjoying, and then he was actually pulling sweet from his friend's mouth, and he was eating the other half. By seeing that Lord Brahma was bewildered, he thought like he cannot be like who is having he cannot be a supreme personality of Godhead, right? And so and then he thought, okay, to check that, he takes all the covered boys and the cows, calves, everything along with him to see. And then again he comes back, but then he because Lord knows, like it became evening, and he sees that nobody is there, and then he realized that all their parents will become very tensed, right, if the children have not returned. So what does he do? He expands himself. We see here all Vishnu forms. So that's all Lord Krishna, and all children go back to their own their houses, even the cow, calves, everything. Said even the parents, everybody, like always, all the people in Vrindavan, they wanted to see Krishna. But then when Krishna personally present in their home, in they though it looked like their own child, they were all completely contented. They didn't, I mean, they were so satisfied, they didn't even look for seeing Krishna, because already Krishna was present in everyone's home. So they enjoyed that for almost 1 year, when Lord Brahma returned. And for Brahma's surprise, I mean, he made them sleep there in his world, Satyaloka. When he comes here, and when he saw that everybody, the Lord has expanded, and Krishna showed him, right? He could see that the Lord himself expanded like this in the 400 Vishnu form, and he took the forms. So he surrenders to the Lord and asks for forgiveness. So that is the thing. So that shows that even the demigods cannot understand the Lord completely. And in one place he controls the so even the we see how he controlled the air and rain. So how in the Vrindavan, in the Govardhan, lifting of the Govardhan Parvat, even Indra was not able to do anything. Krishna was able to protect everyone through, though Indra was trying to send the rain so that it can demolish all their crops and the people, the whole village. But then Krishna protected him. So, which shows that Krishna is the supreme person. Okay, the shlokas. So the 16th shloka explain about the two kind of entities: fallible, that is conditioned; infallible is the liberated ones who are in spiritual world. And 15.17, Krishna says how he is the master of the both, the Kshara and Akshara. He's the Purushottama. No? He's the greatest personality. And how he enters all the three worlds, the higher planet, lower planet, and the middle planet, and he's maintaining them. And Krishna is being celebrated in the uh, world as the in the Vedas as supreme person. So we see that even all devatas, they go to Shirodaka Shai Vishnu when they have any problem they face in the material universe. They meditate upon Lord, and then Krishna give them the intelligence to do. And in the previous shloka, he was called as right? What is that? Uttama Purusha. No, Uttama Purusha means supreme person. So there are three kind of Purusha. We are like Adhama Purusha. We are very dependent. And there is a Madhyama Purusha, which is the um, uh, Paramatma. It's called Paramatma is Madhyama Purusha, and we are Adhama Purusha. Adhama means we are completely dependent on the Lord. Though we have eyes, if Krishna does not give, there's no sunlight, we can't see anything with our eyes, right? So now in the previous shlokas, Krishna explained how for the yogis and jnanis, they can meditate upon the Paramatma feature of the Lord. I am there as Paramatma Krishna mentioned. No? But then here it is for devotees. So how in a Bhagwan feature, how one can worship the Lord. He is the object of worship for devotees. Yo mamevamasambhudah janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything, as he therefore engages himself in full devotional service, O son of Bharata.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna. So how when one understands all this, so what will happen? Krishna says that sa sarvavid bhajati mam. So after knowing everything, he engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord because he want to establish that relationship and go back to Godhead. Correct. So even in this is same thing Krishna says in the 10.8 to 10.11, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna first says that aham sarvasya prabhavah matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So aham sarvasya prabhavah, I am the controller and the proprietor of everything. Sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate, everything comes from me, and whoever understand this, so matta sarvam aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam. So after knowing this, one engages in devotional service, right? So there Krishna says, and then what will he do? He then machitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam katayanti cha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So then they engage, I mean they discuss among themselves about me, the pastimes of the Lord, right? That is devotee association of devotees. Even in the bhakti, we see first is Shraddha, when a person comes to bhakti, and then there is a association, sadhu sangha, and then happens bhajana kriya. So reading together, that and all is bhajana kriya. So then anartha nivritti happens because Krishna then gives the intelligence. The next shloka says, no? So aham agnanajam tamaha, I will take out the ignorance, whoever have surrendered unto me. So like that, here it is said that asamudha, without means asamudha means without any doubt. There is no doubt. So he has completely accepted, and one has to accept this because this is what is given from the scriptures. And Krishna says that I am the one who has wrote these scriptures, the Vedas. So when it is saying, we have to accept it. Yeah. And Krishna says, whoever knows me is knower of everything, right? If there is no need of reading Vedas separately, one who becomes a devotee, that means he has already surrendered to Lord, leaving all the false ego and false pride, right? So he knows that Krishna is everything, not that I can do or nothing is in my hand. After realizing that, so he is the knower of everything. So this is the conclusion. Okay, the shloka is not here. Oh, see this. Yes, someone can read the shloka from the book, the last shloka. Iti guhyatamam jnanam. Something is there, no? Iti guhyatamam jnanam.
Yeah, iti guhyatamam shastram.
Shastram.
Idamuktam mayanaga. Etad budva Buddhiman Syat Krutakrutyaschа Bharata.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah,
Yeah,
please read
Mataji.
the translation as well.
This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, taking into devotional service is the very most confidential part. You know, it's not everywhere, everyone takes it or has belief in that. So, there are three confidential things which Bhagavad Gita speaks about. Anyone knows what are the three things? Hare Krishna. What are the three things? Yes,
So
you can
the
attempt.
Jiva,
Hmm?
Atma,
Yeah, soul. Yeah, that is a soul.
soul,
Huh? No,
soul, and
no. Okay, you're talking about, I think, the five things of this one, na? Uh, subject matters. No, I'm not asking of subject matters. The conf three confidential things. So that is one is Atma, the other one is
Paramatma,
and then what is the other thing?
Bhagavan reality.
Jiva,
No, that is Jiva, Paramatma, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. That is subject matter. I'm asking about the three confidential part of Bhagavad Gita. What do we learn? Okay, which you have not heard anywhere outside, in the sense in material knowledge does not teach us. One is that I am the soul, and the other is that Paramatma is there as in my heart, no, in each entity, and the other one is Krishna's
Bhagavan
abode.
abode.
Abode. There is no, we have never heard that there is something called spiritual abode, right? So this knowledge is only available in Shastras. So that knowledge we got from this. So by devotional service, one can become free from all the contamination. No, that is why we chant. While chanting, it purifies us. It purifies our consciousness. So all the ignorance will go, and then we become fixed in our devotional service. So anagha means sinless one. So means he is not having contaminated by any uh, sinful activity. So he is a Arjuna is said to be a sinless here, right? He's called as sinless. And Prabhupada explains that what is the reason of falling down in devotional services. So there are two reasons Prabhupada gives. So one is that we are having a desire to lord it over material nature, then other than then again increase in propensity to lord it. So these two things are making us to fall down. So actually so basically what did we learn from this chapter? That Krishna, I mean, there are three different entities, no? The Lord is different, the conditional soul is different, the liberated soul is different, and but Krishna is the one who is the supreme, is superior to both of them, and he is the one who is maintaining all, right? So that is the main the confidential thing about this chapter. With this we come to an end of this chapter. Small chapter actually this is, but very important chapter. Yeah. Knowledge explained in this chapter is the essence of Vedanta and the most confidential part of the substance of Vedas. So result of understanding what will happen, one will become wise and his endeavors will know perfections. So we endeavor now in devotional service. It's not very easy getting up and doing chanting or keeping Ekadashi, but then that will all give a fruit. I mean, it will not go in vain. Nah? Krishna will help us to elevate ourselves from where we are. So, what is the qualification to understand Purushottama Yoga? One has to be sinless, the freed from all the contamination. But then again, Prabhupada also says there that even the devotional service by itself is purifying. It's not like I have to have these qualities and then I start devotional service, but doing devotional service, engaging in chanting itself purifies us. So these are the sections we saw. becoming a detached from material world, the reflection and the material world is compared to the reflection of the spiritual world. Purushottama Yoga, and we saw the sorry, it is the name, chapter name. So transmigration from 15.6 to 11 and 15.12 to 15, we saw Krishna's position as maintainer, and 16 to 20, the 3 shloka Bhagavad Gita summarizing the Vedas and Vedanta kind of living it is. Okay, I hope I tried to explain how much ever I can or make you understand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hope you all have marked attendance, and Nandita Mataji was asking for the sadhana form. Please do fill the forms. I see very less people fill, I think, sometimes. Okay. Any questions on today's chapter? No questions? Is it everything clear? Was it tough? How did you feel the chapter? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, it was interesting. The way you explained it, it was beautiful and made it simple. Thank you for that. Thank you,
Okay.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Others? You're able to, was it clear for all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji, it was
Mataji.
clear.
Okay.
It was small chapter, but a lot of things were there to understand.
Yes. Yeah, actually, initially it is a bit tough to understand that the material, I mean, how this material world compared to the tree and all that. I mean, a couple of reading will will give you a proper understanding. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Hare Krishna. You can end the session if there are no further questions. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai, Namacharita Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And I request every one of you, please do chant and increase your rounds if you have not done. All of you have to come to the 16 rounds. Don't just stop at some 2 rounds, 4 rounds. Try to please increase and come to 16 rounds, because that is what Prabhupada has told. No, anyways you are doing, why don't you give your 100%, right? Because so that will help us to go back to spiritual world. No, do 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, and Krishna Prasad try to offer at home and have the prasad. And with this, Prabhupada says that yeah, he will take us back to Godhead. So we should have faith in the spiritual master's words, right?
With his present body, but he begins his work again initiated by the Supreme Lord.
Santosh Prabhu,
Although,
you are reading something.
Hare, I am sorry, Mataji, I am.
No problem. You are
Okay.
involved in some.
The
Okay.
Pravishta Shastra Jananam. That is which I am reading.
What is that?
Anta Pravishta Shastra Jananam.
What does it mean?
It is there in this purport, Mataji. It is in Sarvasya Chaham Priti Sannivishto Matta
Okay.
Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Vedaischa Sarve.
Okay. What is the meaning of what you read? What does it say?
It forgets as soon as he quits his present body, he begins his.
Okay, that is different references from scriptures Prabhupada gives there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, please do read Prabhupada books every day. At least try to read at least 1 or 2 page at least, every one of you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thanks for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Can chant Hare Krishna 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.